Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be talking about VCT Pacific Stage 1 Week 1 results, and let's just say there was a lot of happy people now in Pacific. But before we get into the results, let's first talk about next week's schedule matches basically. So to start off was a banger, Gen G versus Paper X. Basically the rematch for the kickoff grand final. That's going to be a good watch. Followed up by T1 versus DRX, one very disappointed team and a still very competitive team. Then in the second day will be Team Secret versus Zeta, which is going to be interesting. Then Bleed versus RRQ. Next up will be Gen G versus Detonation Focus Me, who might not be the worst team in Pacific now. And basically maybe the toilet bowl of maybe the entirety of the VCT's region. Maybe I guess maybe some China matches as well. Global versus Talon. That's going to be a really funny game to watch. And finally, we have T1 versus RIQ and Bleed versus Zeta to round off week 2. So let's now have a look now at the week 1 results. And first start off with Zeta versus Global. It was a 2-1 victory for Zeta against Global. I mean, they dismantled Global on Sunset 13-1. Then it was pretty competitive on Icebox 13-10. And 13-8 on Ascendo to finish off the map goes to Zeta Division. Zeta, they were just on a whole nother different level on Sunset. Maybe because they did put Laz on Chamber, and that might be the only reason why. So, but they would just absolutely, they just destroy Global Esports, I'll be honest. So, this is obviously some great showing there from Zeta. Considering from where they were in kickoff, where I thought they were pretty disappointing, now they are alright. But I mean, Global, they have definitely improved, I'll be honest, from kickoff, which is at least a good sign for them. But I'm still a bit worried about Global, I'll be honest. There are definitely some things that needs to be worked on behind the scenes. Next up, DRX is Team Seeker. It was a pretty convincing 13-8 victory on both Sunset and Lotus for making a 2-0 victory for DRX against Team Secret. This was Bayan's first ever match, and he performed pretty well. I think it was mainly on the Omen, so he was really good there. Fox9 also impressed me a lot as well, so you know, Bayan, pretty good player. So, and considering that he's been under DRX for a while, I think since 2021, I think he's been there for a while. So he knows how the culture is, he knows how the team works, and with now him in the main team, that's a great start for him. And obviously had some great moments as well against Team Secret, so really excited about that. But Team Secret, I don't know what they've been doing. Like Team Secret, they are like this weird team which they are just so fixated on what they're doing, and that I just don't know if they've improved or not. No idea. Now, but to be fair, this is against a DRX who most people probably thought that it's definitely a step down from where they were last year, obviously, because they don't have Albion in there, so now they have Fox9, Flashback, and Bayan. We don't really know when Flashback is going to be back. I do hope he's back soon, but from how Bayan is performing, he's been really good. So really impressed with Bayan and Fox9 as well. Secret, they just kind of just been under the radar. I'll be honest, they've been very quiet, so not really too sure what to really say about Team Secret. What else I really have to say about Bleed Esports, other than massive disappointment? They did lose against Talon Esports, a 2-1 victory against Talon. 39 on Lotus win to Bleed, and 37 on Buy, and 36 on Icebox for Talon. This is also with a team with Zest and Retla, which really says something, considering that they don't really have a clear IGL. I think Scary is the IGL, but I'm not too sure. If someone can correct me, that'd be great. And Talon, they surprised everyone with Surf in the lineup. Yes, Surf. As in the prime duelist for Xerxia, like last year, I'm pretty sure, or like in 2022, and now I think he was playing Killjoy Viper. Like seriously, but to be fair, Governor, he's been popping off, so I can understand why they don't really want Governor to be off rolling. But I'm gonna talk about Talent again, and why I'm slightly molding at them, but not as much as I am with Bleed. Zest, he performs amazingly on Lotus. I think got basically saved the game multiple times. Buying an Icebox was just a massive disappointment, I'll be honest, for the entire team. So Bleed, they need to fix something really quickly before they just actually do become a team. Next up, Paper X versus T1. This is obviously once again the Sacento Derby. 30-10 on Lotus, 14-12 on Bind. A very close game. 2-0 victory there for Paper Rex. Obviously, with Jing back in the lineup, and they look like back at home. They look like prime 2023-2022 Paper Rex, in my opinion, now. So, it's a good showing from Paper Rex especially. So, that's a great thing to see. But, I mean, T1, they played normally, they played how they would, and they just came out short. So, I mean, no one should really be surprised about this victory, I'll be honest, from Paper Rex. I mean, they have Jing back in the lineup. T1, they're kind of a midfield team. You know, it's just, it's expected. It's basically expected there for T1 to lose against Paper Rex. Now for day 3, the battle of the weird teams. RIQ versus Team Secret, and it was a 2-1 victory for RIQ against Team Secret. 13-10 on Breeze for RIQ, 13-6 on Split for Team Secret, and 14-12 on Icebox for RIQ to end off the game. Like I said as well in the DRX game with Team Secret, they are just very mid, and they are just fixated into their own, basically how they play. RIQ, they are very, very consistent. They are very, very good. This was obviously their only match that they played this week. I think they could be playing 2. I think the next week. So, I mean, they have great they have great players. Jemkin, he popped off as well in this game, especially on Icebox, and I mean, he was just an absolute god there. So, I mean, at least they found Jemkin. At least they have Jemkin as a star player who can obviously bring them games, but they also have a great support players like Elmimore, like Zafaro. Flip Jaeger played the Yoru as well on Breeze, which was interesting. Strella, he played extremely well, but it's just like I said about Team Secret, they're just very fixated on what they wanted. Envy was just alright, everyone was kind of alright, NDG was alright, just everyone was alright, I'll be honest, with Team Secret. It was just nothing to really say about Team Secret. DRX, absolutely obliterating Global. Oh, I wouldn't say obliterating, but did convincingly beat out Global Esports. A 2-0 victory for them. 13-8 on Ascent, 13-6 on Lotus. I mean, I'm not really surprised whatsoever. Global, they kind of look better. Not really, I'll be honest. They just look the same as they did in Zeta, I'll be honest. I mean, Zeta, they made quite a lot of mistakes. They capitalized on a few mistakes there, but it was just Global being Global, really. And I mean, they were just alright, I'll be honest. The DRX, once again, Bane doing a great job. Fox9 as well doing a great job as well. It was just a very normal DRX game, I'll be honest, for Global. It's just very, very normal. Alright, this is where I start molding a Talon. So Genji, obviously, they beat Talon, no surprise there. 39 Lotus, 13-8 on Ascent, a 2-0 victory for them. What I don't really get was what the hell they're doing with their roster. Because obviously, I mentioned beforehand, with Bleed, is that they were running Surf. This time, they were running Lenny. So what are they exactly doing with their 5-man roster? Like, was Lenny out because he was sick? There was no announcement there. I don't know what's happening with the scene, because Cruz, because apparently, because I was in the Bleed game, it looks like Cruz was back in the IGL role. Then I think Lenny was back in the IGL. I don't know what the hell was happening with Talon. They have no idea what the hell to do with themselves. I mean, I'm not surprised that they lost against Genji, but I'm just confused on what they're doing with their 5-man. Like, are they putting Surf in a lineup, or are they just experimenting? I have no idea. They most likely are experimenting. But that experiment should probably end by week 3. If they continue to experiment, they're not going to make it the champs, nor are they going to make it to Master Shanghai. So, I don't know what Talon are doing. Hopefully, it's just maybe just a one-time thing. But they need to sort it out pretty quickly. By the end of week 2, at least, in my opinion. Because other than that, if they lose, like, week 2... and they still experiment week 3, they're basically now just waiting now for champions, which I highly doubt that they're going to make, I'll be honest. But, let's all rejoice, as Destination Focus Me have gotten their first organization win. After 3 years of trying. 3 years. I mean, against T1 out of all teams. T1. Now, I'm going to be going on a bit of a rantage here on T1. Because this is an utter embarrassment for T1. What the fuck were they doing? Seriously. I mean, okay, to be fair, it was a very close game. 13 on Ascent for DFM. 13-5 on Lotus, which is mainly just T1 being T1 on Lotus. And obviously X-Grid on Chamber. Then Sunset, 13-11 on DFM. Now, a massive shout out has to go to May. He was maybe the star of this entire week to put DFM on his back. But the entirety of T1 has to be disappointed themselves of being the first team to lose against DFM. I mean, any team was going to lose against DFM at some point. But for T1, a team which everyone expected to be a top 5, top 3 team even, to then lose against DFM in that fashion is massively disappointing. I hope that they at least have a better showing against DRX and what is the next match as well? RRQ. If they lose to RRQ, their season is chalked. I'm being serious. Because that means their morale's fucked, everything is fucked, then they're just going to just give up. So I expect a lot more from T1 in week 2 and in week 3 as well. If they just flop in the next 2 weeks, they're done. They are not making it to Champions. They are not making it to Master Shanghai. Mark my fucking words. This is an utter embarrassment to T1 in my opinion. From a team that I expected them to be a top 3, top 5 team, losing against DFM, who, to be fair to them, they improved massively from where they were in kickoff and last year especially. But this is a massive disappointment for T1. I'll be honest, I'll be more angry if it was like PaperX or Genji, to be honest, or even DRX. I wouldn't be that disappointed if it was like Talon or Global in my opinion, because I mean I expected them to probably be like competitive against against DFM, to be honest. But because it was T1, a team that I expected them to be top 5, top 3, like I keep saying, is humongously disappointed for them. So I hope they make changes. I hope they get their shit together, because this is maybe one of the worst like starts of the season. To then be beaten up by PaperX, which is, I'll be honest, not really surprising. To then be beaten by DFM on the final fucking day is absolutely unacceptable from T1. So they need to get their shit together, in my opinion. But obviously, this is me being really harsh on them, because T1, I expected more from them. I expected more from all their players. And I feel like the only player who really showed up was maybe Sire player. Like Extra was nowhere, Easy was nowhere, Carpe was nowhere, Rossi was nowhere. I think it was mainly Sire player who actually showed up. Everyone else was just nowhere. They were just gone. They were drugged out. So they need to get their shit together pretty soon. But that was that's in my opinion. So now with week 1 all done, let's now have a look at both the standings. So Group Alpha, kind of struggling. 1-0 for Genji, while Bleeding 0-1, while everyone else in Group Alpha are 0-2. T1, Team Secret, and Global, all of them are 0-2. Group Omega, on the other hand, DRX are 2-0, with PaperX, Zeta Division, RIQ, DFM, all of them are 1-0, while Talon are 1-1. And what does it look like now for the championship standings? So, obviously, Genji, obviously, with their 3 points after winning kickoff, and their 1 win as well, obviously has them with 4 points. DRX is next with 2 points, then DFM, PaperX, RIQ, Talon, Zeta, all of them with 1 point, while Bleed, Global, T1, and Team Secret, all of them with 0 points. So now I'd like you know guys to like, comment, and subscribe. It will really help me, especially on this channel. There's standings as well. I forgot to show it just a split second, but there is the rest of the standings as well. So that's really bad for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.